Yes, it's a possibility. It depends the structure that you have. But often it's not because you play with two strikers that you score more. And we will see because often you have a good attack, and often we play with only one striker. And the most important is the animation, not the system or the position. After, if you have only two strikers and no two wingers, for example, you have only two offensive players. If you play with one striker and two wingers, you have three offensive players. If you have two number 10 behind, you have five offensive players. But I remember I played with two strikers with another team against Brentford at the final and against Rotherham too. Is it possible? Jack didn't do a good pre-season, a lot of injuries, and after you have a lot of competition with central defenders. We have Damien Perkis, Michael Montanier, Matt Mills, Thomas Lambs, and Jack. For the moment, it's a choice. It's my choice. And it was not easy for Jack because during the pre-season he missed a lot of time. But I respect a lot the men and the professional because they have always a very good attitude in the dressing room and the pitch during the training session. David played very good match for me against Fulham. After 3 weeks, he was injured with not a lot of training session. And when you have 30 years old in the midfield, you work a lot. It's difficult. Perhaps is to take a risk to play 2 consecutive games 3 days after a hard match, a hard game. For that, it's about he's fit and he needs to recover because he have not a good pre-season because he spent a lot of time with the national team, and after 3 weeks with his injury, it was very tough for him. Perhaps dangerous for him and for the team to play 2 consecutive games 3 days after Fulham. It's his real position. Sure, Egberto is a versatile player, but for me, the best position is a right back. He likes to play this position. Also, he have a lot of offensive qualities, but when he comes from behind, when, for example, against Brentford, he plays right winger, they are more difficult to make the difference because you have no space. And it's important for him when he counter-attack to have a lot of space because he can offensively play well. He can play in the midfield too, but his real good position is a right back, and I think the same. Here in Championship, we have a lot of intensity of the game. Physically, we have a good level, good technical level, but I think, for example, Spain, they have a more technical level for this championship. Often in England, when you speak with a French player, every time he said that the intensity is very incredible in England, in Premier League, and especially in Championship. Is a big difference with the other championships. The atmosphere at the fans, and everybody, French people, French players and coach like me want to come in England to know this atmosphere. But it's really unique. Yeah, it's really unique when you heard the fan song, for example. It's only in England you can have that. I'm very enjoy because in Forest that's a great reputation. I remember was my friend Graham Riggs told me about Nottingham Forest. The first time they have a fantastic fans. And you play and you work in this. I do the job for that too, to enjoy the fun and to hear the song. It's very unique in England. Every time before the game and before the second half, it's happened something incredible for me and for my assistant. I don't understand everything. Often I'm very focused about the pitch and I don't hear but to have a song. I discovered that when I played a commemoration match game of Graham Riggs in Highbury, and the fan of the song, especially for him, very impressive because in France it doesn't exist, and for that it's a great experience for me. Often people think the system can win the game, but we know that is not the system the most important. You can play 4-4-2 and different teams. I think about Italy, for example. They play with 5 players in defense and they play very well offensively. The most important is the animation, and I don't believe that you have a system. A magic system. With the system you can win all the games. It's a choice and philosophy, and often when you see the system, you see a game on the video, you stop the game and you don't see the 4-4-2. You have only 3 in defense, 4 in attack or 5 in middles. Always the system move. The most important is not to play 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 or 3-4-3 is the animation that we have with the system. To want to improve. When I met a great player, I think about Drogba, Michael Essien, Antoine Griezmann, and it's always the same. They have a mentality to work, to observe, to learn. And when you say something, they accept, they apply, and after it's a thing is a part of them. And for that, the players can progress. For the young players, the best advice is to listen and to apply, and after to record. For that, and of course to work, because the 3-4 players that I said before, they like play football, they like train, and they work a lot. For me, the most difficult when I arrive is to arrive in late, to discover the squad, and after not to have time to work at the beginning of the season, because you have 9 players comes after the pre-season, and after you have 7 games during 3 weeks, and after 7 games during 3 weeks, and you have no time to work together. It's the most difficult thing that I met when I come here. Why? Often it's you have injured players, suspended players, and when you have a lot of games, I know it's difficult for one player to play 7 games consecutive, and we need to make a rotation. Because you need to, when you have after Aston Villa, for example, you have Edberto suspended, Matty Cash injured, Thomas Ladd injured, and you have to change. Or the next game you begin at 7 players, and after it's important to know that you need a squad and not only 11 players, and everybody is important. Then I think the rotation sometimes is an obligation, and we have. I remember during the game to change the position of the players From Inberto, for example, he played number 10 because you have too much injured players in the midfield. Yeah, I hope so. And we have Niklas Bentner too. For values, it's a good example that when the players, especially forwards, come from offside, he need times to adapt his game for the championship, for example. The two first months was very difficult for him, and now he's more comfortable because we need time for the new players, especially when you come from the foreigners' country. That I hope with Brit, with Niklas, but it's important at the fourth squad, but the other players too. Remember that we win some games with a goal with a defender. It's not often, but sometimes we need that.